Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And y'all already know what time it is. It is the spooky season. We're talking about ghosts, goblins, witches, werewolves, vampires, mummies, the creature from the Black Lagoon. And joining me today is somebody who is really awesome. I haven't had the opportunity to meet them yet, but hopefully I may be meeting them soon. We'll see. Keep those fingers crossed and those pinkies up. Joining me today is Parttimewhale. Vic, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
Hey, I am doing fantastic. I am doing phenomenal. And after that introduction, I'm ready to get into this interview because your boy is hyped because I love the spooky season and I hope that you do too.
Oh, I mean, look at me. Of course I do.
Hey, you know what? It's like I'm sitting here saying like, I hope that you do too. I mean, just peep the lights in the background. You already got the colors. You got purple and orange. You know, I got green because I'm a goblin. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So yeah, I'm ready to get into this thing. But before we do that, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. So Vic, the first question that I ask each and every guest up here is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
Well, I gotta think about who I am for a second. I am a Texas-based cosplayer. I have been cosplaying for probably about 10 or so years now. I got
congrats.
Thank you. I had to kind of think about it, but that's pretty close to about whenever I started. I got really into anime whenever I was in middle school, which, you know, I went to a very small school. So that was kind of it was kind of weird, you know, getting into anime that age. But, you know, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't try to like hide it at all. And it's really blossomed into this love for anime and cosplaying. And I've made so many friends because of it. I really wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't gotten into it at such a young age.
Yeah, it's like if you would have had given up, you wouldn't have. I like that. You know, as somebody who did give up on anime, you know, it's like I'm thankful that I was able to get back into it. And you know, I always say My Hero Academia. You know, I got the Deku Shrine behind me because
of course.
My Hero Academia was the anime that got me back into, you know, watching anime. And the second anime that really piqued my interest, that really, you know, got the ball rolling, and I was just like, yo, I'm ready to cosplay now, is the one series that me and you both love, and that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
It's like I started watching that, and I already knew what it was. I tried watching it back when it first came out, but I just didn't have time. You know, not everybody had DVRs, and it wasn't on streaming services back then. But when it was on Netflix during the pandemic, I was just like, yo, why did I wait so long to watch this series? So, you know, I'm going to be asking you some JoJo stuff later on, but first, I want to go back in time because you said that you've been doing this for 10 years. And I just want to say again, congratulations on doing that because 10 years is a long time. So, you know, within those 10 years that you have been cosplaying, like what have been some moments that really stick out to you as a cosplayer in your cosplay journey?
I always think about the small moments, but just going to cons and making friends, hanging out with people. Like I have so many distinct memories of going to like San Antonio based, like very small, like cosplay meetups, little conventions, and just like hanging out with people and just getting to chat about everything that we love. Whether it's like anime, video games, whatever we were all cosplaying from. It's just a lot of very fond memories in my heart.
I love that. I mean, and you know, 10 years, I mean, like that's kind of like a hard question because you've just been around and like you've experienced so much stuff, the good, the bad, you know, the cosplay boom, because I hear from so many cosplayers that have been cosplaying for a long time to see, you know, when the pandemic happened and everybody was staying at home, and because of TikTok, like cosplay, it really took off. It's always been around and people have always done it, but the pandemic really opened up a lot of people's eyes to the world of cosplay and whatnot. So
absolutely.
One thing I wanted to piggyback off of is because I do my research on everybody that I bring up here, especially because I got the Magic TV behind me that shows the
I
shows
was
and
looking
whatnot.
at it earlier.
Now, because this is the spooky season, one cosplay that you did, it's an OG one. Look, there it is right there. I see the Magic TV.
Yeah.
Magic TV. That's what I was about to bring up. But your Jiro cosplay, and you did the witch version of Jiro, and I just think that that's really awesome. And when it comes to cosplay, just doing different variants and stuff like that. So I want to ask you, when it comes to horror and cosplay and anime, like, what are some of your favorite cosplays that you've done to combine those two elements?
Cosplay and horror. I will say Divolo, obviously, because he has such a fun, unique design, and he's so scary, I think, because we don't know very much about him leading up until we literally see him. So he definitely has that like creepy horror factor. And also Kellen Goff is one of my favorite voice actors, and I think he really kills that role. But him and another horror and another Kellen Goff voice role, Freddy Fazbear. I recently did the glam rock Freddy Fazbear to Colossal Con, and I would just love to get like a really like scary, like gnarly version of Freddy that I can really break out at some point. Yeah, I think that would be fun.
That would be awesome. I always feel like the scariest thing that you can do as a cosplayer when it comes to like scary costumes is scare little kids. And I tell you, like right now, you're the cosplay that just showed up, and I'm mad that I can't remember their name. They're in part 5, the magnets.
Risotto.
Risotto, yeah, you're Risotto. Like, just the makeup alone. Like, if I was a kid and I saw that, I would be scared. But for me, like my Kisame, like that scares little kids, man. Like, I remember we were at a restaurant and everybody else at the table, like they're just in their normal clothes. I'm the only one that's painted blue. And this little girl just kept looking at me the entire time. And I had my shark teeth in, and I just kept on looking at her and showing it. Like, and her dad was just like, you don't have anything to worry about. He's the same as us. He's just blue. And that's the one thing that I love about cosplay. So now I want to ask you, because it is the spooky season and we're still talking about monsters and stuff, what is one of your favorite horror movies of all time?
Ooh, I love Scream.
Okay, nice choice.
I love Scream.
Do you love like the whole series, or is it just the first one?
I've only really seen the first one and the most recent. Well, not the most recent one. I think it's Scream 5 that came out last year or the year before.
Yeah, okay.
Those are the only ones I've really seen, but they're good movies. They're fun movies.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, I still have to watch the newer ones, but those first 3 are crazy. And it's awesome that Scream started in the 90s and it's still going to this day, because most horror movie franchises, like your Nightmares on Elm Streets and your Jasons, like those ended. I mean, I know that they tried to do remakes and whatnot, and they didn't really do too well, but Scream is something that I feel like it always works because there can always be a copycat killer. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why Scream works. So now I want to ask you, before we get back to cosplay, something that my co-host D always asks our guests on our podcast is, what is something that scared you when you were a child and has stuck with you to this day? It could have been, playing at the park and thinking that you saw something in the trees, but it was just the branches, or even like being at home at night and hearing something claw at your window and it's just tree branches.
Who's that cosplayer?
Charles Nelson.
You have anything?
I do kind of have one like that. So at my mom's house, connecting to. I shared a room with my sister for a while, and so our room is upstairs, and there's like a little hallway. It's an open hallway. There's like a balcony to look over the living room and everything. But there was one time I was in high school, I think, so I wasn't like a little kid, like afraid of like random noises, but it was just me and my sister at home, and we were hanging out in our room, and I swear I heard someone like walking down the hallway, because like you can hear people even coming up the stairs as they get closer. I swear, like I jumped out of my bed and I opened the door and there was nobody there, and I was like, did you hear that? And my sister was like, no. So I sounded like crazy forever, but that's one thing that really stuck for me. So now I'm always listening out for like weird sounds or anything that might like come up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that there was somebody in the hallway, and it was Dio. He just stopped time. He stopped time. It's like you went out there. He's just like, I thought I heard something, and then
he heard me get up, and then he stopped time and ran in the other room. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. See, back then when you were younger, you heard weary in the background, but you didn't know what it meant, though.
What it was, I thought it was someone being like R2D2.
Oh man, but I mentioned Dio, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We've been talking about it this entire time. I gotta ask you, which part is your favorite part? The hard questions.
It's a hard question. I'm stuck between parts 5, 6, and 7. I'm only halfway done with part 7. I have not finished reading it, but it's so good. To pick one though, I'd probably go with part 5.
Okay, part 5. All right, and why is part 5 your favorite part?
A lot of people don't like Giorno. I love Giorno. I think I think he's a great protagonist. He does what he needs to do, and the way that he does it is so in line with whenever like remember the fact that Dio is his father, but also that like Jonathan is also his father, quote unquote. So he does things that are like good and like gentlemanly, quote unquote, to like say like that, but also he does things that are like kind of messed up and evil. But remember that he has like these two sides that can like coexist inside of him, and also like shine through in his personality. I also love like all of his like Joe Bros and his like team, and then all the villains are really interesting. Like I really love part 5, and the story is really, really fascinating to me.
Okay, so since you were just talking about Giorno, does that mean that Giorno is your favorite Joestar?
No, Jolene is.
Hey, okay. I mean, because you were just speaking so passionately about Giorno, and I'm glad that I was wrong. I mean, maybe the people that are watching this video too, like they might have thought that you were gonna say Giorno too. But why is Jolene your favorite Joestar?
She's so badass. She's so cool, and she's fighting to save her family. And I really love that about her. She's so tough. She's strong. She's beautiful. She has like amazing powers. She's actually the reason I got into JoJo's. Actually,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
My nephew, who is a senior in college now, we have an older sister, and that's her son. But we got him into anime whenever he was first in high school, and then he was like, have you heard of JoJo's? Have you ever wanted to watch JoJo's? And I was like, I don't know, whatever. And then part 6 got announced, and he showed the trailer, and I was like, that looks so cool. I want to cosplay Jolene. She looks so badass. She looks so cool. But I feel like it would be a disservice to cosplay her without watching the show first. So there she
Magic
is.
TV, the Magic TV.
Magic TV just knows. And so I watched part 6 first, or I watched the first like bracket of part 6 that had come out, and then I watched from part 1 all the way through.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. And I just want to let everybody know that's watching. We interviewed Kara Buckland, who voices Jolene. So check out the video. It is up here on YouTube, or you can listen to it on the podcast. I always got to do the shout outs. But
I love her.
yeah, she's awesome.
So
She's really nice, and I can't wait to meet her at a con one day. So next JoJo question is, who is your favorite villain from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and why? Now, it could be a minor one or it could be a major one. You know, I throw that one out there because sometimes it's like people will hit you with Mariah might be their favorite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
We really got to think about this one. Probably Risotto. I think his power is really cool. His design is really cool. I like his little jester hat with the bells. His stand is Metallica, which is one of my favorite bands. And his power is really, really cool. And his fight with Doppio was so cool. Like, I really loved getting to watch that and experience that.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's just like, he should have won, but, you know, plot armor. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying. Oh my gosh.
That's how it is with some of these fights. I mean, like, I was talking about this earlier, but like with Cars, like Cars should have won plot armor. Like, it's Cars
is another one that's up there.
Yeah,
he should have won. He should have become the ultimate life form.
Exactly. So, final JoJo question: if you had your own stand, what would the stand's name be, and what would your stand's ability be?
I have thought this out. I've drawn it up, and I don't have it in front of me, but I would love to show you eventually. Okay. The name would be Longview, after the Green Day song, because I love Green Day. It's one of my favorite bands. And the power would be to amplify your vision, or the user's vision, up to I think it's like 5 miles. So any distance from like an inch in front of you to 5 miles in front of you, it could like amplify that space.
So, and you want to know something? I love that. Like, your stand, like, it sounds like a support stand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, when I interview JoJo cosplayers, like, a lot of times, I mean, myself included, like, we just come up with stands that are attack stands, but it's not often that you have somebody that has like a support stand, or, you know, like somebody was saying that like they would have a stand that would be camouflage. So I like how it's like you get attack, you get defense, and then you get support. So I think that that's an awesome stand name, and I think that that's an awesome ability, and that's why I love JoJo cosplayers. Excuse me, because you never know what answer you're going to get. So we're getting here close to the end of the interview, and I gotta ask you, because you said it's been 10 years that you've been in the cosplay game, I gotta know, what are your top 5 cosplays that you've done?
That I've done?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, I have so many.
I know, trust me, I know.
Okay, in no particular order. Oh, let me really think about this. Diavolo, obviously, one of my favorites. I just finished it a couple of months ago, and it's been worn 4 times, so I really love it. Taco from the Adventure Zone. Jolene. She-Ra, and I really need to redo her because she's always so fun to be. Abakio from Part 5.
Okay. Hey, that's a solid list.
Yeah.
That's a solid list.
A lot of JoJo's, but I love cosplaying JoJo characters now.
Hey, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, that's just like if I was to say, well, my favorites are Jotaro, and Jotaro, because he has 5 cosplays. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he has 5 outfits. I mean, especially for Part 4, I think he has 3 outfits, and 3 or 4. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like 3 or 4. No, you're good. You're good.
Like, I think he's number 6 for me because I've done him once, and I would love to bring it back sometime.
The honorable mention. I mean, well, I do want to mention your partner, because they do a really awesome Caesar, and you know what I'm saying. So to see Joseph and to see Caesar, I think that would be really awesome. And I do want to shout your partner out. That is Sanguine Cos. That's somebody that I interviewed up here on Who's That Cosplay as well. You can check out their interview. It is up here on YouTube. So with that being said, we are here at the end of the interview, and I just want to say thank you so much, Vic, for joining me, especially because we're in the spooky season. Thank you for answering the questions that were the scary questions for the interview. So yes. Before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Okay. Once again, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
My Instagram and TikTok are both Parttimewhale. That's Parttimewhale, all one word, with 2 T's, because people get that mixed up sometimes. And that's the only social media I really use for my cosplay content. Yeah, okay. That's all I really have.
Also, hey, look, y'all go and follow Vic on all of their social media accounts. Y'all already know where you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. And with that being said, keep that pinky up, stay positive, stay safe during this spooky season. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.